You are meant to have a great life. I'm Roger Burnley, and welcome to the channel. Please subscribe if it's your first time. But I'm going to give you a little story. It's going to be a little story because I'm not going to do the entire thing here, but I do want you to know why I know that you're meant to have a great life. You're supposed to be successful. You're supposed to be happy and abundant and all of those things. But we come into the world and we have to move through things in our lives. We each do it differently. We move through generational trauma. We move through difficulties that we may have had growing up, whatever it is, to try to get to that place of understanding and accepting who we are. And that always occurs in consciousness. Consciousness is shaped as we live. It's shaped in our world. It's shaped and it continually changes no matter when we live. And at times, we can develop something new, something different, and you are meant to do that. We're all meant to be unique. We're all meant to be something different. But over the many years, you might have felt that that wasn't happening for you, or you might have seen where it wasn't occurring in our world as well. And then you would think, well, who am I? Well, I went through so much of that in my life. Moving through struggles, going through fear, going through depression, going through all kinds of things you can't imagine. And I said, why is this happening? Am I being punished? Many times we feel that way. But the fact is, that's never occurring. It's something that you agree to do, that you accept it, and if you were to understand it, you would then have a great life, and then you could also help many others. And that's what I'm doing now. It is very bizarre to do something that no one has ever done before, and that's what's happened for me, and that also makes it challenging for other people to believe it or to accept it. And there have been many people who have come before, inventors, scientists, philosophers, who people could not believe anything they were saying, and they died before anybody understood what they had left. There's a string of them, and I could be one of them. Because that's what was happening. But I'm going to take another stance on that. I'm changing now because I developed an extraordinary ability and I have to use it, but I can't expect some other people to really understand it. And I'll tell you what I mean. I had so many different illnesses and sicknesses and all of that moving through my life, and then they started changing. They started healing. They started going away, which no one could explain. I couldn't explain it. And then I tried to hide it. I kept it secret for a while because I didn't know what was happening. But what happened was in 1989, I started making a different connection to universal consciousness. That's who I called Wilhelm. And it was giving me guidance and understanding. I still was keeping it hidden because I didn't understand it and it didn't make sense to me. But it was charting me through the universe. And I published a few things where I said I uncovered the order of the universe, because there is one, and we just figure it out at different times. There have been many scientists, physicists who have figured out certain things, and we talk about the quantum field. We've heard about quantum mechanics. Well, I lived it, and that's what has caused this healing to come about within me, and what has created what I call now the Wilhelm Blueprint. It's a blueprint for humanity, for humankind, because if each person can come to understand who they are and their rightful place in the universe, things would change. Now, this is never anything I wanted to do. I had this dream in 2005, many people might have heard of that, where I knew I was supposed to bring something to the world, but I said, I can't do it. I said, it's not me. And I ran from it, and I kept doing that. I was a vocal coach. That's what I thought I was going to be forever. And I couldn't even explain why I was doing that so well, actually. But that had to, and then I started changing because I knew that the world was going to change and people would be moving through difficulties. But I resisted it. In 2021, I'm told that we were going to be moving through some transformative times in our world, and it's all energetic, and each person was going to have to look at everything within them and move through that. And if they were to do that, they would understand who they were and then heal and offer that to the world. I didn't believe that and didn't make sense to me. Then they also, my guides, Wilhelm, said if I were to meet someone, I would have been given a message for them on their birthday in 2012. Another very bizarre thing that made no sense to me. And then I started trying it and it worked. Probably 100 people I've done that with. And then I wasn't ever going to do channeling because I thought I'm going to have judgment if I do that. But that's how I was receiving the information. It was consciousness. It was pure consciousness. And it had no judgment in it, no nothing. It was only this supportive understanding of who we are as humans. And then they told me that I was meant to bring this in because the world was splitting apart and I had the healing. And they demonstrated it through me, which is why I healed. And I put it together in a document that I call the Wilhelm Blueprint, so you can read it. And it's basically saying it's a blueprint for humankind going into the new world. Now, I denied all of this, but now it's been proven because we have new technology that looked at all of the messages and said this is extraordinary and we've never seen anything like this. That made it difficult also because when you do something brand new, for people to accept it, it's just, even when it works. And I'm saying this because I tested it in 2021. I put people into this work and they transformed faster than anything I had ever seen. I couldn't believe it myself. And then it was demonstrated because all the information that Wilhelm was giving us was energetically aligned with the changes that were happening in our universe. And that's what went on. And so I'm going on to Coast AM this Monday, Monday the 29th on George Norrie's show to talk about all of this and present it. A while ago, I sent them the information about this quantum philosophy, that it's healing, that it's everything, that could change anyone's life. And if enough people did it, it would change our world. Because you would move beyond your biases, your hatred, your judgment, all of that. And then you would become self-empowered. And I couldn't have known this, but I had an inkling a while ago that this was about developing self-mastery. Because if each person could have that, they would have the lives that they wanted to have. But we've also been conditioned, we've been programmed since birth to believe things aren't possible. We can't accept something. This is why the term cognitive dissonance is so popular, because we all have it. I had it because I couldn't even believe I had done it, even though it came through me and the results are there. But I'm saying this, I wanted to explain to everyone why no one could have understood me before and why I was like trying to figure this out. I'm walking around and telling people, giving them this information. Then I started doing private channeling. I wasn't going to do that before. And I was able to answer anyone's question, give them the guidance that they were seeking, because it was all energetically aligned in the universe, and the answers had been given to me. Depression, illnesses, all of those things that someone might move through, it's just a disconnection from themselves. And so when they can see that their unique genetic DNA is supposed to be in the universe, they change. And that's what went on. And you can hear some of the testimonials, and people will say they didn't understand why this was working for them when everything else they had done didn't. And that's just a fact. I hid from that, but that's exactly what happened. But I can no longer hide from it because I can't create a business that way as well. And plus, I'm finishing this work now, and I'm going to give it to so many more. Now, when I'm on the show on Monday, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea how many people will come to me, because I'm going to tell them there's no reason for any person to struggle or suffer, because it's a process, and it's a process that I use. It's cognitive behavior training. It's understanding neuroscience. It's understanding epigenetics, all of those things, what we inherited and all of that. And then it's down to energy. Because if you can put all of those things together, then you heal, and then you start to have the life you want. And that is your career, your relationships, and your abundance. The only reason that you would not have all of those things is your disconnection from yourself. And I've been disconnected, so that's what I can tell you, because I couldn't accept this. How could I have done this? But I did. And that's what I have to own, because I want more people to own who they are. When we come into human existence, it can be surprising that we might do something that no one else in history has ever done. And but that is what's happened. But then when you do that, you must tell others, because we want humanity to grow. We want humanity to become more, and I've been given that work, and you'll read it in the documents. So what I'm doing now, I'm sending this to everyone I know and all of my list privately, because I have to change. And I opened up 5 slots, and they are really a discounted thing because I just wanted a few people to take it. But then after that, I'll be taking private clients and building something else, because I understand that for some people this is a bridge too far to accept. But I also know that there's no reason for you to struggle or suffer. Thank you so much for being here, and please share this with others. If it's not for you, just give it to someone else. They may find some value in it that could help them. And that has always been my goal, is to help as many people as I can, but I also have to help myself now, and that's what I'm doing. And you should do the same thing. All right, see you soon.